going on, guys? Welcome back to Hippo Supercoach, and today going to be going through my trade plans going into round 8. So we'll go through the ranking just quickly. Sitting at 501, so we went down to 51 spots. Just going to quickly have a look at the YouTuber league as I'm rapidly deteriorating in that one. What am I, 6th? Yeah, so I'm struggling quite a bit now. And I think the main reason is big bad Tommy Stewart. So look, there's a couple of options we have this week, or I have this week. The first one is to obviously trade Tom Stewart. Now, trading someone like Tom Stewart gives me basically Nick Dacos. So Stewart and Ashcroft could turn into McDonald and Nick Dacos. Really nice price. This is something I'd love to do, but I think at this point I may as well hold Tom Stewart and hope to God that he comes good, because like this is something I'm gonna weigh up, no doubt about it, as the dog roams around the room. I think what will decide whether I trade Tom Stewart or not is if he's injured. So if they come out and say Tom Stewart out, managed, whatever, he's gone. But like for me, I just feel like I've held him all this time. Sorry. And I may as well hold him now. Like, he's bottomed out. He's lost like 100k. What's the point of trading him? So the trades I was actually thinking about doing, and look, last week's trades weren't great. Traded in Max Holmes, traded out 3 90s basically, or 2 90s, and a 70, and got Max Holmes, who scored 70. So that hurts. But the thing that you have to remember, guys, is that it's every week is so different. Like, one week one structure works, the next week another structure works. What I mean by that is, like, let's look at last week, right? All the rookies do absolutely shithouse. They score 30s, 40s, Reeds, Clearys, Trainer scores a 2. And at that point you think, all right, maybe it's best to get all the rookies off the field, and then we don't have that volatile scoring. And then the next week you get punished for trading out those rookies. So it's like, what the fuck is it? Is it one or the other? And look, at the end of the day, rookies are always going to be pretty inconsistent. So I'm going to stick to the strategy of getting as many off the field as fast as I possibly can. And yes, it means I have to hold a Bailey Dale and a Tom Stewart. I don't want to do either, to be honest. I'd love to bid them both. But I think in my position, I've used all my boosts. I've used a lot of trades. And yeah, my strategy is I'm going to commit to this strategy of getting rookies off the field as soon as possible. Grabbing premiums. And yes, I have to go for more value kind of guys because cash gen's pretty dry. And I know we've got Flynn now. Flynn can be a keeper for now. Until Flynn's not a keeper, I'm not even going to consider him a cash cow, okay? So right now, he's a keeper. He's pumping out tons. It's more than enough. So what trades am I looking at in terms of bringing in budget, guys? So the obvious cash cows to cash in this week are Levi Ashcroft and Sam Davidson for me. Break even of 48 and 50. Look, it's not at their average, and they're capable of doing all right, especially Levi. I think if you can hold him, probably do so with his run. He's got Gold Coast, then it gets pretty easy. North, then Melbourne. Hawthorn, not easy. Essendon, kind of easy. So probably 4 out of his next 5 games, I expect him to score okay, or 3 of his next 5 games. So you can definitely hold him if you really back him in. I just think roll's not great. Now, something that's very interesting is the CBAs of the Brisbane game. This week, I should say. Let's have a look at Brisbane's CBAs. Really weird, and I was very keen on Josh Dunkley. He dropped from 80, 86, like basically 80% CBAs to 50%. And Hugh McCluggage is 78, Lockie Neal 94, Will Ashcroft 53. So Dunkley is playing wing. So what's going on there? Genuinely, what is going on there? He's a great inside mid, defensive two-way mid, and they're playing him on the freaking wing. So automatically I'm thinking, no, because I was planning on getting Dunkley. I don't know if you guys watched my videos last week. I was pretty keen on getting Dunkley last week. But now all of a sudden it's a backflip. So, all right, let's say we grab Oscar McDonald. Now this could be Henry Hustwaite. It could be Sandy Brock. I doubt Sandy Brock gets back in. Who's the other one? Who are the other ones with high break-evens, or low break-evens, I should say? Is that it? Well, it looks like that's it. That's brilliant. There's nothing else to grab. All right, so let's say Oscar McDonald's the one we grab. Guaranteed. Gives us 539. It's such an awkward price. And just looking at the mids at 539, none of them appeal to me. Literally none of them. You saw what Holmes did last week. He's a worry. Let's just filter round 7 summary, sort by highest price. So like Dunkley was the obvious one for me if he had CBAs, but he's lost CBAs. The other one was Heaney. Heaney went a little bit lower. Could have grabbed him, but looks like I can't. So we have to deal with that. Ed Richards is one I wouldn't be against grabbing. Look, are these guys going to be top 8? No. But it gets rookies off the field. Then if we have luxuries, we can sideways. That's my strategy this year. I know a lot of people are going to want the Bont and Butters, but I personally don't think we have the cash gen to get there. If you're happy to field rookies through the buys or to the buys, then yeah, maybe you can grab Bont and Butters, but you're going to be very low on trades once your team's complete. So yeah, I'm looking at guys with upside. I'm looking at guys that could potentially push the top 10 to 12 range. Not settling for top 8, 6, because I don't think we can do it. Like 690 and 680k, yes, I'd love to have them both. These two guys were on my rate. They were locked into my team all preseason. I had no doubt about either of them, and the dog's gone cheeky mode and just started roaming around the house. Yeah, I think like I wanted these guys all preseason. It shits me that we had to trade them both out because they would have both been locked into my team, but probably a lot of other teams too. And I think I had Brayshaw as well, to be honest. So yeah, that's frustrating. But look, we don't have them. We need to adapt. So what I'm looking at is Jordan Clark. So let's filter by the highest price. We'll filter by the highest price, and as my dog has some random attachment, I don't know. Anyway, we'll filter by highest price. Getting slightly distracted here. I don't know why it's still in break-evens. Highest price. And yeah, Jordan Clark is one I'm really liking the look of because he's actually averaging like 107, and that's potentially close to keeper status. And I need to grab this thing off my dog. Give me 2 seconds. So the reason I want Clark is, yeah, because he's going to be a potential top 8 defender. Okay, so apologies for the intermission. He's going to be a potential top 8, as I've said 4 times in the last 10 seconds. So if you grab someone like Clark, you can swing Connor Stone forward. That's what I really like about that pick. Or you could even swing... Well, I've already got Holmes and Sheasel on my mid now. So let's swing Marriage. And we'll swing Stone. So Stone getting DPP is actually very clutch for us. And then we grab Jordan Clark. Complete the trades. So at the end of the day, this is getting 2 rookies off the field. And structurally, this is looking very nice. Very, very nice. Because look at the team. There's not a lot of flaws. And if round 8 is anything like round 6 was, where all the rookies shit the bed, then all of a sudden I'm looking at a massive, massive advantage by not having any rookies. The only one I really have is Cleary that I'm scared about because I'm not counting Bryce as a proper rookie when he's pumping out tons. So, yeah, look, structurally that makes a lot more sense than trading someone like a Tom Stewart Ballydale. Might have to lower the expectations for those guys. Maybe we just got to hope for 90s. Thinking about 100s or even 80s at this point is probably too much, which is annoying, but they are capable of pumping out 130s at any given moment. So we have to be weary of that. And that would frustrate the hell out of you. If you trade your premiums and they start going nuts, it's one of the most frustrating things in Supercoach. So look, I don't want to do that. Like I said, for Tom Stewart especially, he's bottomed out. There's no point trading him. The only reason I would trade him is if he's actually out. And it's frustrating watching him play through this, whatever this injury is. Makes you second guess, was Chris Scott even telling the truth about his gastro, or were they just resting him for the knee? I don't know. But if he's still playing, I assume they're going to hope he can play through it and work through it and improve. We saw what happened with Cherry. Cherry had a pretty bad hamstring problem. It was hindering his performance for a few rounds there, like 2 rounds, and then he just turned it on and went bang, 150, 150. Now, I'm not saying Tom Stewart's going to do what Cherry did, but if he pumps out a couple of low tons or 110s even, all of a sudden we're thinking, all right, this guy's a must-have, and people are going to try and bring him in because he's so cheap. So that's the worst case scenario, is if he does just keep doing absolutely shit, and we're taking him to the grave at this point. But like I said, if that does happen and Stewart is out, I'm going to pull the trigger 100%. I'm going to grab Nick Dacos. But at this point, I like the idea of Jordan Clark. I think he's been a pretty safe, consistent scorer. Maybe not a huge ceiling, but at this point, I don't even really need a ceiling at this point. Like 107, 122, 104, 101, 104, 94, 114. I'm happy. I'm happy with those consistent tons. For that price, that's a really good value pick. Will he be a top 8? He'll be close enough. I think he'll be top 10. Potentially top 8. So, yeah, really nice price for someone who's pumping out good scores. So, all of a sudden, that puts us, like I said, our structure's really, really solid. Now, it does flood our back line quite a bit. It means we have 2 defenders in the midfield. And the midfield, it looks a bit yucky. I'm not going to lie. No Dacos, no Bond, no Butters. Only real Uber is Brayshaw. So we're pretty limited with the captain options. Pretty much the only captain options I have is Gawn, DeConing, and Brayshaw, which isn't the end of the world because they have been going nuts. Gawn this week is as safe as houses, I think, for a captaincy option. We saw how many hit-outs Matt Flynn gave Lloyd Meek. What's Max Gawn going to do? So I know it's not always as straightforward as it seems. We saw Gawn pretty mediocre performance in round 1 when he rucked against Keith or whoever it was. But yeah, Gawn's in crazy form right now, and I wouldn't be wanting to go against him, especially Melbourne. You know, they're starting to play well. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. I think this week I'll be going Brayshaw VC. Yeah, because I just don't know. I don't trust anyone after Gawn. I mean, yeah, there's really no one to go. So we're gonna have to just take a punt. Brayshaw into Big Bad Maxi. What's Maxi projected this week? 112. Yeah, so expecting a bit more. Projected 2-3-4-3. Yeah, let's see if this strategy prevails. It could just be you hold your Davidson, your Ashcroft, your Bice, your Reed, Trainer, O'Sullivan, and they all just pump out 90s. And that's going to completely screw me. And it is what it is. I lose. But yeah, I'm committing to this path of upgrading and trying to get as many rookies off the field as soon as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my trade plans. In terms of next week's really limited. I don't think there's going to be many options next week. I think we're going to be stuck with this team for quite a bit, just because cash just hasn't been what it's been, been what we expected it to be. So look, could trade Marich, but Marich is scoring fine for now. Pretty high floor, I think, which is really nice to have. Look, the ceiling's clearly not there, but he's been a solid pick. I mean, Humphrey 150 to yesterday. I can't believe that. I feel very, very sorry for owners. He's just gone and said, shove that up your ass. Yeah. So yeah, another strategy I also thought about was, what if you just fully tank your 22nd position? Having Matt Flynn at flex means you're probably going to be scoring all right in that 22nd slot. Sorry, the 23rd position, I should say. So what if you just fully tank that 23rd spot and just do not give a shit about it and just go Uber Primo, Uber Primo, Uber Primo around it? Don't think it's the worst strategy. Yes, it means you don't have that leeway if you have a premium flop like a Stewart. But yeah, it could work. Like, I could keep Cleary, who I know is going to be an inconsistent scorer. Could keep him at F6. And just not even worry about it. Just upgrade around that one pick and just be like, whatever. He's not going to be my best 22. So it's something to think about, I think. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with being ranked 500. If you ask me at the start of the season if I would take rank 500 at round 8, I would definitely say yes. So yes, could have been a lot better being 78 a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, still going to hold the faith. Team value, 12.4 mil. I think that's relatively good. Had a look at rank 1 before. Team, it's a weird team. It's if you're watching rank 1, don't take it to heart. But I don't think it's going to hold up. Like fielding Murphy, Reed, and like Lindsay. Like you look at Oliver's, he's M5. You look at Oliver in my team, I think he's my M8 or M7. Clearly this team's better than mine because it's rank 1 and I'm rank 500. But yeah, I think it's just been a bit lucky with those rookie scores because yeah, I mean fielded Carroll, Lib is a big starting pick. I assume he started him or she started him. Yeah, Rankin's been solid. Rankin's another one I could look at. Rankin or Clark. I think they're the only options. Dunkley would have been the no-brainer, but if he's playing wing, you forget about it. But yeah, like I look at this team. Yes, it's a bit yucky when you see, Bailey Dale's name and Tom Stewart's name in the back line, but I like the way it's structured. I expect to have a big few weeks and not going to be able to do too many upgrades, like I said. Do we cash Marichin? I don't know. Cleary, I mean, can we cash him? Probably not. The thing is, who are the options next week? I mean, you get Huswaite, who's going to get dropped for Nash in 2 weeks anyway. Yeah, it doesn't look like as much is there. So this might be the last little bit of cash we get for a while. I know people still have to cash Reed, Trainer, O'Sullivan, all those kind of guys. So well done if you haven't cashed them in yet. Looks like they're going to make some coin, but yeah, I mean, I'm hoping Connor Stone can reset his cash gen. Let's see what happens if he goes at 70 over the next few weeks, which I think is possible. 70. Yeah, he'll get up to 300k by round 11. That'd be nice. But yeah, like I said, I don't think it's the worst thing to field a dud in that 23rd slot, especially when you've got a nice flex. There's really no reason that wouldn't work out. So that's it for the video, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed. Hope everyone had a good round. Please drop a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.